who was your favorite speaker at the 90 years of quantum mechanics lecture at Nanyang Technological University?
Gerard to Hooft was my favorite, mostly because it was very interesting the way they introduced him onto the stage, because for most other physicists they would just read out their thesis and their name and just let them go out. But before reading out his name and his thesis, they said something, I can't quote exactly, but they said something alluding to this man is here to break your preconceived notions and is here to propose something that most people would not adhere to, which at that time was slightly referring to the Copenhagen interpretation. So he came on there and he initially was going to talk about black holes, but I guess to people's demand, because they view him as more of an iconoclastic physicist rather than, a typical physicist. He was then invited to talk about his cellular automaton interpretation of quantum mechanics, which is very different from the Copenhagen interpretation. It deals with superdeterminism and how it's sort of like a mechanical procession of different variables and how they intertwine to eventually go to the scale of, I guess, from quantum to cosmological.
So you don't adhere to the, because Niels Bohr, he really convinced a lot of people, and even the dogma still exists today that the collapse of the wave function emerges into a certain type of indeterminism in which we can't know, or we will never know about certain things about the wave function or probabilities in quantum mechanics. So you and Hooft, and I don't know where I stand with this yet, because I'm going to be honest, I'm an experimental physicist and this stuff is a lot more intense. Perhaps the data I would use would refine whatever they're talking about. But you don't adhere to the notion that of the purely, indeterminate universe.
I mean, what I can say is it is correct in the sense that I do not adhere to the Copenhagen interpretation in any way, form, sight, smell possible, although you can't really smell particles at that level. But I can't really say I'm fully fledged a superdeterminist either, because if you look at the paper in which they wrote, it's from 2014, and we're all still waiting for the second version of the paper for more mathematical, I guess, deductions. So in that sense, I would say I wouldn't proclaim and say I am a superdeterminist right now. I am kind of in between, but I would lean more to superdeterminism than the Copenhagen interpretation.
That's very interesting. Sean Carroll, he adheres
to emergence.
He's into emergence and the many worlds interpretation with Hugh Everett. You also have Bohm's interpretation of quantum mechanics, in which the particle is on this kind of wave that's still deterministic. It's on a wave that's going towards that makes the interference in the two-slit experiment, double-slit experiment. So that's actually very compelling.